Hello, Bigfoot enthusiasts. Scott here from Squatch America.
And Hannah, domestic goddess, chief cook, doggy mama, and horrible victim of an unidentified bug bite.
Yeah, which caused hives all over. That's
I
right.
have so years ago, when we had a cat and we lived out in the wild, this cat tangled with some poison oak. We found this out later on. He tangled with some poison oak. I didn't know about it. And he came in, he did his little hello mom and wound around my legs. And by the next morning, I had poison oak from my ankles all the way up to my boobies. And Scott said he'd never see. He says I'm weird because my body doesn't work. But in this same thing, I had got a bug bite 2 Sundays ago. And within 3 days, the whole entire top part of me was covered in massive hives. And so please, I don't really like, if you're new here, I don't really look like this. No. I'm sorry if I'm frightening you.
All right.
On better news, I got my medal from the Yosemite Challenge. I walked 44 miles in less than a month. I'm currently on Florida Keys Challenge, and because I'm way behind on that. But anyway, 44 miles in less than a month is pretty good. I'm really proud of myself.
All righty.
Should we start the show now?
Okay. All right. We've got a really big show. I've got another PowerPoint. Yay, team. Yeah, I know you guys love my PowerPoints.
I have to do a PowerPoint for work.
I know. Isn't that crazy?
Are you going to get in the middle of that?
No.
Okay.
So, well, first, I got to say hi to Greg, Michelle. I know Hannah already typed it in, but hey, Scott.
And Ben.
Jim and Ben and Donna.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Donna, I actually feel okay other than like this incessant itching, which is starting to go away, but it is taking forever for the inflammation to go down, and the rash has just chapped my face and my skin. It's I just want to hide for like a month.
I know. Yeah. Oh, and hi, Janice. So all the usual suspects.
Yep. Yay. Woohoo. So please, all 12 of you, go like, subscribe, share, do the things.
Yep. So we just got back from a week-long squatching excursion extraordinaire. I have to put it that way. It
taught me one thing.
What?
You need to take first timers out a lot more.
Yeah, it seems like every time I take somebody out that's never been in the woods looking for a Bigfoot,
things happen.
So plus it's a hot area, just put it that way. That's why we went back there, and Scott is in the chat, who spent the whole week with us out there. But I'm going to go over some of the lesser highlights. I just put it that way tonight, because we are working on it. It's going to be probably on our Footprint Fridays. It's going to be at least 2, probably 3.
We got lots of video stuff out.
Videos that we're going to have to put out on this. Different things that happened.
I even had something. It's like, and it was not a ninja stick coming down the mountain.
No, it wasn't.
I will never live that down.
So, but we had a couple new people that had never been squatching in the woods with us. And then who I think we changed their mind about Bigfoot being real. So that's it. So,
well, we did cause an 8-year-old to puke.
Yes, well, we'll get into that later. That's in the PowerPoint. So let me fire this thing up here. So this is our week into the woods. So if you've been following us a while, and I know everybody here has, and June, we were up in this very same area, Scott and I. And
July.
July. I think it was June.
It was July. It was right before we went back for the Bigfoot Festival, which was August. So it was July.
Okay.
Log, I wish I was immune to all
Yeah,
this.
yeah,
I have got a pretty much a bionic immune system,
yeah.
but I will say this. Can I just add this as a caveat?
Mhm.
I know a lot about health. I know a lot about nutrition, and I do know one thing: if you bombard your system with sugar and refined crap and all that stuff, it's going to completely tax your immune system. Well, the week before I got this bug bite, my immune system was really taxed with a lot of things like creme brulee that I should not have ever been eating to begin with, but I did. There was a lot of going out with family, a lot of foods I normally don't eat, and I really think my immune system was just compromised. So when this
Mhm.
weird bug bit me, I had nothing.
Yeah.
So
And
Scott says June. Okay.
Scott says June. So here's a very rare moment that my wife is wrong.
Yes, I'm wrong all the time. And I will admit when I'm wrong. I own it. Because I don't care if people think. I don't care. It's like, okay, I don't have to be perfect. I don't
All
have to
right.
be perfect.
All right. So let's get into this real quick. So as you know, as I started to say, if you've been following us, we were in this area in June, and we had some interesting experiences with some rocks. Um, Scott had the forethought to grab some rocks from the coast when he was there, and we put these coastal rocks in the deep forest, and so they were out of place basically. Um, so this is one of the more interesting things that was happened. We had these rocks set up here, and the the first night we went, or the next day after the first night they were set up, we came back and they looked like this. So I mean, it took 3 rocks off and piled them down or lowered them down, and so we set them back up. And um, if you want to see the video, you can go back and watch it. It's called Wendigo Pass Part 1.
By the way, I'm
What?
right. July 15th.
Oh! All right. Okay. All right, Scott.
But I would have been okay if I was wrong. It wouldn't bother me. I love you anyway.
Oh, I know. I'm going to text break up with Scott right now. So, okay. So, oh no, somebody's at the door. That's bad.
I will take care of it.
Okay. Daisy.
This never actually happens.
This never actually happens. Okay. So, that's crazy. So this is live. Let me tell you, in our camper. So, anyway, moving right along. Come on. Oh, wait. So the next, I think it was like the week later, Scott went back and we found one of the rocks that were up here in this area up here ended up stuck in this.
You want to know what that was about?
No.
Are you sure?
Bigfoot?
Yes.
Oh, I figured it was. Why?
Well, so taking a pause for. All right, so it's just weird. We're just having a weird day.
Yeah.
So that was someone. She couldn't speak because she doesn't have a voice, but she had a sign. They're having a bluegrass festival at the clubhouse from 6 to 9. They wanted to know if we wanted to come and share our experiences as soon as we're done here.
Okay. All right. Okay.
So I guess we're going to a bluegrass festival after this.
And an impromptu Bigfoot festival.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh. Now Happy is barking and looking for Daisy.
Yeah, that's funny. So.
Okay, this is not going to go at all like we thought it was.
No, it's not. Oh my gosh. Okay, so back to the PowerPoint. Let's get through this. All right. So Scott found this rock stuffed in that crack. What's really interesting is, I think it was the next night, correct me if I'm wrong, it doesn't really matter. But at this point, the stack was disassembled. Some of 3 rocks were back here on the ground. And if you look closely, this rock is stuffed further into the crack. And then the next day after he rearranged it, one of these rocks are put down in here. and 2 were stacked down here, and this rock was taken. The wood was ripped off and the rock was taken. So if you notice, that's how it was day 1, day 2, day 3. So this happened the first night we were there too. This rock here, if you want to pay attention to this one, this particular rock right here, it was standing upright. If you see this dark spot on the rock, you can see it right there. It was standing upright in the middle of this log. The next day we go back and it's at the end. If you notice, this is the end of the log and it's laying down. There's a dark spot laying down. So it was originally like way over here. My arrow got moved somehow. Oh no.
Oh well, just keep
And
going.
so if it was to lay over and roll over and get knocked over, it would have bowled these over, but it wasn't. Something picked it up, looked at it, set it back down at the end of the log. You got to have hands to do that, by the way. So this was going on, and so this time we came back to check it, and this time I want to say we put cameras on them, and guess what? Nothing happened. And I have a tendency to believe that because we had cameras on it, nothing happened. So, but you'll see more of that when we get into the videos that are coming up.
Is this where we tell them that maybe your woomometer was heightened?
Which woomometer?
Normally your woomometer is down here, like ain't
Right.
no such thing.
There ain't no such thing.
Mm-mm.
No, there was. I'm gonna.
Scott would say, I think his woomometer was budged.
No, the only thing weird that happened.
Oh,
I'm trying to think of anything weird. Well, that's coming. Don't talk about that. but we did see a UFO the first night. I'm just gonna say that. It was kind of weird.
Scott says all the way to the top.
Yeah, my woo monitor went all the way to the top. Yeah, we had one really woo experience. That's coming up. That probably part 2 coming up in about 3 weeks. But maybe we'll talk about that coming up. So the next thing that happened to us was 2 times we had rocks thrown at us. But the first time was very interesting. We were out driving. We found a spot on the road where something had woven trees together across the road.
I even saw that.
Yeah. Woven trees together across the road. Like, okay, this road is now blocked off.
It's like cross-hatched.
Yeah.
It wasn't trees falling down on each other. It was like one of those little, those doily kits that we all made in the 70s with
Yeah.
plastic loom and the little stretchy things. Yeah, It was like that.
So what happened here is, I'm going to give you a bigger picture this time, is I got a couple pictures. And I know it kind of, you're like, okay, pictures of the forest. That's right. So we're going to look at this picture here. And what I want you to do is look in this spot right there. Okay. Now I'm going to go the second picture I took. Do you see the difference? Whatever it was, there was something huge and dark. And I think I see a head right there, but that's just me. But, because what? Hannah's pointing at something that's inconsequential. No, she's pointing here and here, but I'm saying there's like,
yeah, I can definitely see a difference there.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I was just looking. I think they're right here. If you look right here, I'm thinking that might be a head because there's nothing right there in that opening.
Hypothesis from Locke. Here, put that up on the screen. This is about the rock stack. I just love it. Scott was eating bacon. This Scott here, this one.
Yeah, with
was
one
eating
teeth.
bacon and got grease on the rock. So a dog licked the rock, knocked it off the log, and then put it back on the log, but could not get it to stand up with his mouth.
That was it.
You, sir.
Yeah. Oh.
Okay, back to the picture. I
Lock,
just wanted to give that a 3 clap.
Lock. Do you know what you're doing, dude?
Woo! Y'all gonna make me lose my mind. Up in here, up in here.
There we go. That's the drama llama, by the way. So.
Oh, okay. So I think today is just this whole show tonight. It's just
So
this is the pinnacle of the weirdest week we've ever had. Okay, back to the picture. We got people talking about the picture.
okay, so here's another.
Looks like the first picture, not enough light going through the canopy, and the second picture, the sunlight went through the canopy, and it will light up that area. That's my thought.
Problem is, those pictures were actually taken from a video, and the video was constant.
And those were like seconds apart.
Those were seconds apart. So I don't know.
You can't tell anything from pictures. Nothing. Right. But you can go, what?
Yeah. Raptor says it made it brighter in the second picture. Well, I actually believe there was a dark figure behind all those trees and it moved. That's my theory. Because this had just happened.
And Scott Goebel just said
we heard it move and walking through the forest. And here's a video. So we had a gentleman with us. His name's Spike. And
not from Needles, California.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm sorry. I know it's old, but sorry, I can't not.
So this happened at the same time that this happened. We had a rock now, which we did not get on video, come swinging through the trees and hit a large tree in front of us. I mean, it hit hard. It was thump. And so Spike got his phone, which I got to tell you guys, I want to tell you guys something. When you're in the woods and you're filming with your phones, turn them sideways. You get more.
Sideways if you want actual video. If you want to put it on like social media, then you do it.
Yeah, but sideways you'll get more context. More context. But he filmed it upright, so I can't fault him for that. But
and by the way, before you play that, it is admirable. It is admirable and correct science to go through everything else it could possibly be.
Absolutely.
And only when it cannot be any of those do you go to something a little more outlandish.
Right. So this is Spike's reaction.
Video.
Yeah.
That's going to go to the next.
Keep people out of there. We got movement back here. Huh? We got movement back here. Yeah.
All right. I don't know if you spotted it in the video, but
so Blair Witchy.
Yeah, so Blair Witchy. There's this creature crouched down in the video.
Oh, I better be quiet.
Hannah, now here's my theory on this. after watching the video a whole bunch of times and blowing it up, and I wasn't able to do that until like today because I didn't get my fancy computer back until today. But
Yeah. Wake Up says that she sees something moving, but the camera keeps moving. Yeah. So Spike is not a cameraman. Just
No.
saying that. God bless his heart. Great guy. I want to go out with squatching with him again.
but
one of
he
these
but
days.
he is
But
kind of a trained observer, by the way.
he is actually trained law enforcement, and he's on the right side of those two words together. Okay.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah.
Given the times. That sounds like a line from the Big Lebowski.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, I could almost say I see Alf in that picture, but
I know.
I see Alf everywhere.
So you see this thing that looks like a face?
It looks like Alf.
I want to tell you right now, all that is tree limbs. All of it. It's from that fir bough that's right there. All this. Those are not eyes. That's not a mouth down
It's not
here.
Alf?
Nope. But so if we were to take that out, what we have here is a creature with its head turned kind of away. And I think this is a hand maybe, but it's crouched down. You can see its back. This is the head. And you can see the legs down here. So
Well, I love what Locke and Raptor are just having a great time tonight. Run to the movement, Spike. Tackle the Bigfoot.
all right.
Oh.
So that's what with the limbs. When I first saw that, I'm like, oh my gosh, there's the eyes and the mouth. But after going back and looking at it, those are all tree limbs. But if I was to take that out, and all I did was, just take out the tree limbs there.
You get a weird black void.
There's a weird black void in there, just like the other picture I had with the weird black void. So that's a Bigfoot cloaking. No, just kidding. I did
Going
not say
through
that.
a portal.
Yeah. So I'm going to let you watch the video one more time.
Don't get motion sick.
And don't get motion sick. And then see if you can catch it this time. Because it looks better in the video.
We got movement back here. We got movement back here. Well, I heard the knock. Oh, shit. Hit the tree. Yeah.
Yeah, when you've got movement, stop moving.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
But, a lot of...
Locke says the right side, so he won't plant evidence, commit perjury, or falsely report.
That's true.
Yes, and he will observe the rule of law. How about that?
So anyway, so I don't know if you caught it in the video, and I don't know if I can pause the video while it's playing. Let me try that again. No, it won't let me. Unless I don't know how to work PowerPoint. But anyway, it does look like it was crouching down and it was dead still. That's the other thing. There's been so many encounters where the Bigfoot will walk in the woods and just freaking freeze and then let you walk by him. And we went back the next day after looking at this video and stuff, and we went back into that area and turned around and saw what they were looking at from wherever the perspective was where this thing was sitting. There's a little grove of trees that was really thick and dense. There's this little opening, which has been so many times We've got reports of I could just see its face just peeking through the trees, and all those blurry pictures we get of just the little face peeking through the trees, because I think that's what they do. They find little portals.
For lack of a better
For lack of
word.
a better term, they find little openings in the brush where they're completely concealed, where they can just peek through them and watch us.
You know, like how we all used to watch horror movies when we were little kids.
Yeah, like this. Yeah.
Anyway, Raptor asks a great question.
What?
How many black bears are around that area where you guys were at? Lots of bears.
There were
Lots of wolves.
We found wolf tracks in our
And bears.
campsite the day after, the next morning after we camped all night. We found wolf tracks on top of our tire tracks driving in on the road. But they are lots of bears. We found, and we'll point that out in the videos that are coming out too. We must have got 30 pictures of bear tracks we found.
And some of them were double stepping, looking like, looking like
Bigfoot ones, but they were just double step bear prints. We found tons of bear prints. There's a lot of bears, to be honest with you. There is. Problem is that bear just threw a rock at us.
Yeah, and if that was a bear, it was standing on its hind feet.
Yeah,
that's what she said.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
anyway.
Yeah. So,
and Ben said something here. I'm finding that how it's crazy how they just freeze.
Yeah.
Even with my hounds, they don't even know it's there.
Mm-hmm.
And,
they do.
and you see that in Paul Freeman's footage, where that was Big Jill, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where Jill, steps behind a tree and then being bigger than the tree. You're thinking, well, she's bigger than the tree, yes, but then she curves herself to match the shape of the limbs and freezes, and because of their coloring, just disappears.
Mm-hmm. And then she takes a step out. So there's actually a couple frames where you see her walk behind a tree and then just vanish.
It's almost like a cartoon.
Yeah. Yeah. And then you can't see her at all. And then she'll take another step and then you can see her again.
Yeah. They are masters of blending into the environment for sure.
Mm-hmm. So.
And I don't know, are bears stealthy? I always thought bears were kind of lumbering through looking for a picnic basket.
Yeah, and that's something else that even Scott and I and Spike were talking about while we were there, is that deer, you won't hear them walking through the woods. Elk, occasionally they'll crash through the woods. Bears just lumber. I mean, you can hear them coming. I mean, they're really loud because they don't care.
They'll eat you.
Yeah, but what we heard walking through the woods after the rock throwing incident, it sounded like every once in a while you would hear a limb break, because this forest is just littered with down timber, but every once in a while you would hear something snap, but not that often. So it was sneaky. Just as sneaky as you can be, like walking on like a littered forest floor. You can't be completely silent. No, but nothing can, I don't think. But
Daisy can. She's good at that.
Yeah.
We did not take her with us. I wonder if we had taken her with us, what that would have done.
Yeah. So
Ben says, I've literally been like 30 feet, if not closer, not even knowing it was there. Kind of freaky.
It is kind of freaky.
All right. Shall we continue?
Yeah. Well, let's do our quick little commercial first, and then we'll get into the other half that Scott wasn't even there for. All right. So where's the button?
As we travel in search for Bigfoot, we use a lot of equipment that uses the internet to operate. Also, in our town hall meetings and live streams, we need a reliable connection. We use Nomad Internet. There's a link and discount code below, so join us and have internet access on the go.
I hate looking at that picture of me. I was so cute.
I know.
I need to get my cuteness back.
Yeah.
I miss my cuteness.
I'm sitting here. Don't say anything, Scott. You'll be held against you.
It will.
All right. And
You'll
also,
be sleeping in the truck.
and also in the link in the description below, there's a link to Coffee Brand Coffee, who
If you buy from him, we'll get about 4 cents off your purchase. So thank you very much.
well, I don't know if you get anything off your
Cheers.
purchase, but it'll help us out. Just put it that way.
No, we'll get about 4.
4 cents. Yeah.
So
But that'll work. Every dime counts.
because every dime counts because get to it. We'll get to the root. Don't worry about it.
I know, because we're part of a group called Fallen Outdoors. And what Fallen Outdoors is a veterans support group, a nationwide
Daisy.
veteran support group that
Sorry, the dog was freaking out.
that helps soldiers deal with their PTSD by taking groups out hunting, fishing, and now Bigfooting. We are the official Bigfoot group for the Fallen Outdoors, and we had our first event. And like we said before, any money that we get from our YouTube channel, like from the super chats and things like that, and if you're helping us over on Patreon, and we thank you very much for our Patreon supporters, that link is in the link tree below too. But if you all that money that comes in helps us to take out veterans, and this is what happened just recently after Scott and Spike took off. The next day we had a veteran show up, and he brought his 2 young boys with him, and we took him out squatching. So he was US.
Those boys were ready to take out the big guy. My goodness.
They were rambunctious, but
they were rambunctious all boy.
Yeah, but he was an army vet, scout, was in Afghanistan. I didn't go to Afghanistan, but I was in Iraq. But we had a lot in common. Trust me, because Army Scouts and U.S. Army Infantry, pretty much the same guys, doing the same thing. So we were able to take him out. And something interesting happened on this trip. We went back to the spot where we had the rock thrown at us, because I figured that's where they were hanging out. And this happened. You might want to turn the sound up and listen a little bit. In the middle of Hannah's speech, you'll hear something.
Speech?
Yes, Hannah was talking to the boys, giving a speech.
I loved those boys.
Yeah, so here we go. Something pushed a tree over, it sounded like. So, just for fun, one more time. Something pushed a tree over, it sounded like.
So to be clear, there were gunshots going off behind us.
Behind us.
But in front of us, it was like,
yeah.
That's what it sounded like.
Yeah, something shoved a tree over. Now, do bears shove trees over? Yes, they do. So I'm not counting this up as a Bigfoot encounter. But we walked back in there to try to see if there was a new tree on the ground, if you could tell even if there was a new tree on the ground, and we didn't find anything. But it was kind of funny to me that was in the same area we had rocks thrown at us just the day before or 2 days before. I don't remember how many days ago. The days ran all ran together. But so there was that encounter. And then the next day, no, actually it was the same day, wasn't it? That night, I had put out, after Scott had left, I had put out not cameras. I put out motion sensor lights, LED lights, solar powered, and tied them to trees around the camp, about probably 50 to 80 feet into the forest around our camp. So if something was trying to sneak in to the camp, and I put them facing the camp, so you would walk by it, the light would come on, light up behind you, and hopefully we could probably see a silhouette. Maybe if we're out there watching it at that moment, but the lights will come on only with motion, and they'll only stay on for 10 seconds, and then they'll go off. So that night, we were sitting in the camp, and one of the lights came on. Scott and I had this back in July too. One of the motion lights came on, but it stayed on for, gosh, a minute and a half. So something was in front of it still moving. And so we headed into the woods to check it out. And now we're going to get to the young lad throwing up thing. So was it his brother that said about the smallest one? I can't remember. I think
His dad said they go for the smallest.
Yeah,
ones
his
first.
dad said they take the smallest ones first, and it kind of freaked him out. So when we got
It more than freaked him out. It made him sick.
yeah,
I tell you what, this little 8-year-old, he was so cute. He come in and we're gonna get us a Bigfoot. And by the end, when we were out in the forest and all those sounds were going on, he was literally wrapped around my waist. Can we go back to the trucks, please? I just want to go back to the trucks. So I successfully forest navigated or Google Map navigated my way back to the truck, which is only about 100 feet away, but I can get lost in a paper sack. So.
Yeah.
Anyway, he was cute.
So anyway, we
You set up these lights.
we set up the lights. So we went in to check it out, and what was funny was he kept trying to get really close to his dad and hang on to him. And his dad kept pushing him away and kept saying, "Hey, if Bigfoot takes you, I don't want you anywhere near me." So kind of freaking him out a little bit. But what happened? We went into where the light was, and I got to push this button. We did find an interesting footprint.
We have a cast of that, by the way.
We have a cast of that too.
That is not a bear. That is not a bear print. It is way.
No, it's like the front. The
It
toes
is
are
way-
really spread.
And it's way bigger than a bear print.
Yeah. So, and that'll be in a
In an
video too.
upcoming
I'm
video.
here teasing all the future videos is what I'm doing. So we set out that night, and if you see down here at the bottom, we have our
Laser lights.
laser grid system set up. And what this is it's a tripod, and then over here on this arm it has a thermal camera running, and then up here on top it has an infrared camera running, and then on this arm over here is the laser grid that projects on the trees. So when things are out there at night, this is something I've been trying out recently. You catch stuff walking in the forest.
It's really kind of cool.
Like this.
That's Scott, by the way.
By the way, that's me. It's not a Bigfoot. That was me walking in front of the grid to show you what it looked like. So
It's really fun.
So when you're just looking at darkness out there, and all of a sudden you'll see that
A disruption in the
disruption in the grid.
grid. Much like a disruption in the force.
Yeah. There. So anywho.
Anyway, get on to it.
So that was our fun time with the young lads and the veteran, the Afghan veteran. It was awesome meeting him. And like I said, any money that we get from this goes to the veterans and the fallen outdoors. So we had a really good time with them.
Yeah. So Raptor said going back to that video where I go, what was that? Yeah. Because I am not quiet in the woods. I'm a horrible squatching partner. Heard like a snap, but I didn't hear like a tree pushed over. So there were a lot of, it was really hard to hear on there.
Yeah, it was, but being there, I can explain it. It was, no, you heard the pop of the tree and then you heard the.
And that was in the middle, in the background of the guys up the road who were shooting.
There were people, well, not just up the road. I mean, they were a few miles away, but you could hear the gunshots going off. There's some guys had set up this makeshift range up there, and
they were just going through.
They were just burning ammo like crazy. But so that was in the background, but
it was like pop.
It was pop, whoosh. You could actually hear it. So.
And it wasn't the pop that got me. It was because you always hear crackling.
So we did not see the tree fall, but we heard it. So there's that answer to that old question.
It was in front of us.
If a tree falls and nobody sees it, can you hear it? Yeah, you can.
No, that's not what it says. It's if a tree falls in the forest and no one's there to hear it, did it make a sound?
We weren't there. We didn't see it. So, so that happened. Whether it was a bear or a Bigfoot, we don't know, but we did find some footprints the next day, and something was stalking around the camp. And 8-year-olds should not go squatching. So
11-year-olds, they're pretty decent.
They're pretty, yeah.
But poor little 8-year-old lost his lunch over that.
Yeah.
And then he came and showed me where he lost his lunch.
Yeah,
that was probably more exciting for him than anything. Is I got to show her my puke. Mm-hmm. It's like I never stopped being a mom.
Scott Goebel said it works bringing in you a pace. I don't know what he's talking about.
And identified aerial projectiles. Isn't that what those are?
Phenomena. Yeah. Locke said he pushed the tree over. I wish Locke would quit following us around.
Well, we're done really early tonight.
So any questions, please throw them in the chat. And also, we want to tell you what's coming up. We've already got,
We've got 9 things booked next year.
Oh my gosh. We've already got 9 Bigfoot festivals booked for next year. We are going to be at
Sasquatch Days and Forks over Memorial Day weekend.
Yep. And then we're going to be in Glide again. And then we're going to be in Oak Ridge
and Baker City.
And
then 5 sportsman shows.
And the sportsman shows, so Eugene, 9. Medford,
Roseburg, Anderson, and now this year Klamath Falls. Klamath County, we're coming your way. So what are we doing tomorrow?
Okay, folks. So tomorrow we are packing up and heading south.
I've had so much enough of the Pacific Northwest, and it's getting cold. Except today it was really hot, but now it's getting cold. It's getting cold. Yeah. In fact, it was cold. It was cold last week in the woods.
So up here in the it froze one night. Yeah, it's getting that time of year in the Pacific Northwest where you're running your heater in the morning and your air conditioner in the afternoon. That's just how it works. But we are headed tomorrow. We're headed south. We're headed eventually to Texas, but we're going to stop and spend a week or 2 in New Mexico. We're going to go
the crazy governor.
Yeah. So we're going to go to what's the name of the town?
Alamogordo.
Yeah. And go squatching there for a week. And then we're going to head to Texas. And if Joe, you watch this, I don't think you're in the chat, but you're going to watch it later. I know you will. We're headed your way. I'm going to send you a message. Yeah. So
Next Wednesday.
Next Wednesday, we are not going to be able to go live. I am so sorry.
But we're going to do something awesome and we'll share it with you later.
Yeah, well, we can tell you what we're going to be doing. We're going to be doing archaeologically stuff.
We're going to go check out Chaco Canyon.
We're
So
going to
years-
Chaco Canyon, New Mexico.
Years and years ago, he was part of an archaeological dig in Chaco Canyon, and he came back. He's actually got a slideshow about that.
Yeah, I do.
Maybe you could put that together in a
No.
recording. I think that was his first PowerPoint was Chaco Canyon.
Yeah.
It was like an old grandpa with the little, let's watch the slideshow of the Disney trip. And click, click, click. It was like, oh. And then the kids are going, oh, do we have to watch this? Anyway,
Yeah.
so he finally gets to take me to Chaco Canyon.
Yeah, and if you're not familiar with Chaco Canyon, it's an amazing place. It's 2,000-year-old Native American
Village in the Rocks.
village in the desert, but it's got some of that almost, I almost want to say it's got that ancient alien stuff happening there a lot.
Is there a guy with big hair there?
No, but it's kind of interesting. It's very, I don't know how to say it. It's very interesting. I mean, they've got buildings that are miles apart from each other that you can't see that are perfectly lined up north, south, east, west. And if you just shoot a laser to one to the other, they would hit it. But you can't see them from each other. And you try to figure out, how did these people 2,000 years ago master this technology
Because
and
they were not
archaeology?
stupid.
Yeah, they weren't. So anyway, and so we're gonna film some stuff there, and we'll talk about it.
Raptor wants to. First of all, let's go back.
Okay.
Donna says she's curious to the mile radius of a hot zone, and she's going to the Whitehall New York Bigfoot Festival this weekend.
Awesome.
Yay, fun for you!
Yeah, Whitehall.
What's the radius of a hot zone? Probably 100 miles.
Oh, I don't know. It wasn't actually not. It was probably within 20 miles circle
Of this particular area.
particular area that we were in. But here's the deal: when they're there, they're there.
When they're not, they're not.
When they're not, they're not. And 90% of the time, you're not in the same spot they are. But the trick is to find a curious juvenile, and I think that's what we had here, and we've had it there all summer. This curious juvenile who just wants to mess with us, and that's where you get most of the stuff happening.
And here's something else too, because we went back to where the rocks were, and that was higher up, right?
Mm-hmm.
Most of the activity we were getting was down low where we were. It's getting colder. They're moving down.
Well, that, and plus we were closer to the water.
Yes.
Where we were camping. That's another thing. They need food and water and cover. So we were next to when we were camping this time, we were actually fairly close to the, I'll give it away, Umpqua River. But it's a long river, so try to figure out where we were at. But anyway, the Umpqua River, which is a big river. It is gorgeous. It is like crystal clear too. So they moved down about, Scott said they moved down about 3 miles.
Yeah.
So it wasn't huge.
Yeah. So Raptor says, what are we hunting for? Dinosaurs or archaeological stuff like natives and humans? We're not really hunting for anything. He's showing me Chaco Canyon.
Yeah. So here's the deal is, for those of you who may not know, and for those of you who do know, you've heard this, bear with me. I, as a career, was a Native American cultural anthropologist, and my expertise was in pictographs and petroglyphs. So that's what I studied. And I have been on a couple archaeological digs with universities in Chaco Canyon. And I actually have one of the pictographs there I wrote a paper on that's in the Smithsonian right now. And I want to show Hannah that pictograph. But other than that, we're going to be just kind of
dinking around like tourists.
But if I do see some, I mean, I have in my career found 4 Bigfoot pictographs. So I don't know if there's any in Chaco Canyon, but I haven't seen all the pictographs in Chaco Canyon. There's thousands. So we're going to go look for Bigfoot pictographs in Chaco Canyon. How's that
Yeah,
sound?
there we go. And Log says, what if Bigfoot? One Bigfoot, many Bigfoot. What if they are like a much more extreme version of the Baku people in the movie Star Trek Insurrection? I haven't watched that in a long time. I totally forgot what it's about. I think there is way more truth to Star Trek than people think.
Yeah.
And I think Gene Roddenberry was actually a big
Prophet.
well, I think that a lot of what he wrote shows about is happening right now in our world. And I don't mean space travel, but a lot of the cultural stuff that he promoted is happening now. So I'm not much of a Star Trek fan anymore. Anyway, the entire people disappeared at Chaco. Very true.
Very true. They just all of a sudden poofed.
Yep.
And there were thousands and thousands of people in Chaco Canyon. It was a cultural exchange center. There is artifacts from the Hopi, Navajo, Apache, but also Aztec and Mayan cultures were all there. I mean, we found jars of chocolate from South America there, and there was a kiva that was built called Pueblo Bonito. Today, that's what it's called. But anyway, it's a kiva is a huge like meeting hall type building that they built. They had to haul logs over 400 miles through the desert to build this thing, and it's large enough to seat 2,000 people in it. So it's a pretty amazing place. There's even a pictograph there depicting a solar flare that happened almost 2,000 years ago. And they've got a picture of a solar flare and directions pointing to where it was in the skies. And if you go back in time, you can, it happened.
Yeah.
So it's a very interesting place.
Blackbeard says the Baku were very technologically advanced people who chose not to use technology in their daily lives. So were they the space version of the Amish?
Yeah.
That's kind of the Amish right there.
Yeah.
The Amish are far more technologically savvy than people give them credit for. And what their thing is not that they're against its usage, they are against dependency on the mainstream grid.
Yeah.
I love the Amish.
Yeah.
I would almost be Amish. I will exist alongside the Amish, and I will not be an Amish, but I would live their lifestyle.
Yeah.
So I love the Amish. Yeah.
So that's cool. Yeah, and it could be. I mean,
so many things could be.
So many things could be. And we're just asking questions, and all we're finding is more questions.
Yes.
Pretty much.
So a couple changes are going to be coming to the channel pretty soon. I just wanted to let you know we have just reached a threshold where we can sell merch directly to you from the YouTube channel. So I will be designing all sorts of merch for you to spend your hard-earned money on: hats and shirts and sweatshirts and coffee mugs and keychains. I think we need a Squatch America keychain.
Oh, we could.
Someone says we need to sell stuffy Squatches with our logo shirt on it.
There we go.
So anyway, yes, my friend here loves the Amish lifestyle.
Yeah.
It's true. It's true. And that's one of the reasons why we would love to live in northern Maine, because it's full of Amish.
Yeah.
So maybe Bigfoot could make fire but chose not to use it, or maybe they could make planes and computers, or maybe once did so but returned to nature by choice.
So that's actually a theory I have heard before.
Mm-hmm.
There's also another theory that Bigfoot are Native American shamans that just walked into the woods to
like
live,
that lady in Alaska.
to live that lifestyle.
Wasn't it an Inuit lady?
Yeah.
Who just got tired of people and said, "I'm done with y'all. I'm going to go live with a Bigfoot."
And she did.
Yep.
So that's another theory. So of course I have my theories. Y'all know my theory that I think they're just. We had a whole video last week or the week before.
Are you going to link it right there where your finger was pointing?
Yeah, it's going to be right.
Are you sure? You
There.
never actually get around to linking it.
Yeah, I will try this time. So that's it. We're not going to be on next week. We will share something with you. And please if you want to know where we're at and follow along, I have started doing daily short, 60 seconds long.
Yes, please watch the shorts. I tell you what, the channel's growing because of those shorts.
Because of that. So every day I'll come on and I'll actually tell you about where we're
and
at.
sometimes I might hijack it and do my own.
So that could happen too.
Hasn't happened yet, but I've been tempted. Paranthropus boisei, maybe, but
that's my theory.
Look at those big words.
Look at those big words. Thank you, Locke. All right.
Anyway, can I say goodbye now? I'm really tired of looking at my chipmunk cheeks. In this. You have no idea how my vanity has been threatened. It's ugly.
Oh, poor girl. Anyway, it's getting better. She's getting better.
Go back on my Facebook page and see the progression of this. It's been ugly.
Yeah, so we need to do
build a Squatch instead of build a bear. That actually might not be a bad idea.
That's great. So if you haven't, go to the website, sign up for our email list. So that tells you where we're at, where we're going, and what's happening.
Gives us more opportunity for me to send you, hey, buy our t-shirts now, which will be going on special for the holidays. 3 for $20 or 3 for $60, or probably $20 a piece instead of $25. So as we got a ton of them on board with us, and we will ship them out to you.
So there's that.
Okay.
And like and subscribe and do all the YouTube things. And we're starting to promote our Rumble channel. So we do have a channel on Rumble. So if you got people who Rumble instead of YouTube, let them know that Squatch America's there too.
Yes.
And
how many followers do we have on Rumble? 500?
500 already. So
anyway, yes, go to Rumble. Maybe someday we can ditch the YouTube train altogether.
So we'll see. So with that said, I got to push buttons.
So as always, please remember that our job is to investigate the unexplained,
not to explain the uninvestigated.
So until next week, you keep watching and
we'll keep squatching.
Bye.
Now go out and find Bigfoot. Oh, I'm not ready. I'm not ready. I am not ready. Bye.